Hello, my dear students. Welcome to the digital learning platform of Karnataka Government, Department of Collegiate Education, the Karnataka LMS. My dear students, in this session number 9, we will learn about the subject business communication. In that, chapter number 3, purchase correspondence. Yes, my dear students, in purchase correspondence, uh, we will have in detail insight about the inquiry letters. Let us see the inquiry letters, letter of inquiry. The main objectives of the sessions, learning objectives of the session is to make students to learn about letter of inquiries, and number 2, to enable students to know some of the samples of inquiry letters. Here, so we can see some of the samples of inquiry letters. So how the format should be, how we have to draft the letter of inquiry. Yes, my dear students. Here, in this session, we will deal with the content like this: the introduction part, meaning, features of a letter of inquiries, and some of the samples of inquiry letters. Yes, as you know, my dear students, in every business, letter of inquiry is an important routine document in the pre-deal business stage. Inquiries can be made either by the supplier or by the buyer, but in the most of the cases, inquiries actually are done by the buyer in practice. Inquiries are sent and received by post letters. So usually we can send the inquiry letters or receive through postal letters, emails, and faxes, couriers also nowadays. Yes. So in business, so these letters are written for the purpose of in order to seek information regarding the goods and services rendering by the business people. Generally speaking, the inquiry letters are three kinds of inquiry letters. Number 1, general inquiry letter, and number 2, specific inquiry letter, and number 3, status inquiry letters. Usually, what happens in general inquiry means the buyer may only request some general information such as the catalog of the product, catalog of the company, then price list or quotation sheets, samples of the product, and illustrated prints about the material or goods and services which they are rendering, and so on. But in case of specific inquiry, the buyer can inquire about the quality of the product and also quantity, specifications of the product and goods and services, terms of payment, date of shipment and delivery, such as various terms and conditions regarding the business, and other specific requirements. So therefore, my dear students, inquiries mean a lot. Inquiries mean a potential business. So therefore, they must be acknowledged promptly and courteously. Yes, my dear students. So this is all about introduction part of letter of inquiries. Let us see the meaning of inquiry letter. As you know, an inquiry letter is written by the potential customer, future buyer, on the lookout for a product or with a desire to avail the service offered by the seller or an organization. And again, an inquiry letter is neither a contract nor does it entail any contractual obligation between the buyer and seller, both the parties. And inquiry letters are most common type of business letters. So we can see in each and every business organizations for asking some information. So we have to write inquiry letters. So therefore, inquiry letters are most common nowadays. My dear students, so let us see the definitions given by various communication experts about the inquiry letter. According to God's side, he said that an inquiry letter asks information like catalog, quotation, as I mentioned in the introduction part. So it is like a quotation and catalog and asking for samples, cost of a product from a seller in a concise and clear way. It should be concise and clear format. Okay. So let us see another definition given by Mr. J.H. James. He defined like this: the business letter. So this is one type of the business letter according to James. The business letter which collects valuable information of the business and therefore provides price reduction and profit earning facilities. So students, here you just concentrate on these two aspects: the price reduction and profit earning facilities. So what is our main intention? I mean, the person who is inquiring the details, who is seeking information regarding the business terms, the main aim of his, the main goal of his inquiring the data, inquiring about the business is to get some benefits, avail the benefits of price reduction and also earning the profit. Okay. So for by way of asking some discounts, okay, offers, etc. So therefore, according to Mr. James, so provides price reduction. It contains some valuable information about the business and profit earning facilities in the inquiry letter. Yes, this is all about the definitions of inquiry letters given by various authors. My dear students, let us see the features of inquiry letter. How it should be, the inquiry letter, how it should be. So there are several aspects which we can concentrate on. Number one, asking for any kinds of information. So very first thing is we must ask some valuable information, right? So inquiry letter is a form of inquiry letter is nothing but a seeking information about our business. And number two, start with directly and politely. The letter should be direct to the point. Okay, there should not be any misleading information regarding the business inquiry. So therefore, we must be direct to the point, and it has to be polite. We have to gather information with politely. And number three, the inquirer must maintain the confidentiality. Here in the business organization, so nobody wants to disclose the information. So therefore, in order to maintain confidence, in order to gain the confidence from the supplier of the information, so we must kept this information, I mean inquired information should be confidential. Number four, it has to provide explanation for information. So whatever the information he is seeking for, so that has to be mentioned in the reply of the inquiry letter. Coming to the next feature, characteristic feature number 5 is it has to be in a particular language, whether it may be English or Kannada or whatever the language we are using. That has to be understood by the both the parties, I mean buyer and seller, I mean the sender of the communication, sender of the letter and receiver of that letter. So there should be a proper language and it has to be understood by understood with the same meaning. Yes. And number 6, characteristic number 6 is there should be a particular purpose. Okay, so the inquiry letter must have a specific objective. So what are all we are gathering information? So why we are gathering, why we are seeking this information, whether we are continue with the business or not. Okay, so this has to be there. There must be a particular purpose. And number 7, my dear students, it must be supported by the reply. After receiving this inquiry letter, the receiver of that letter must reply in a good manner. Therefore, we have to write the inquiry letter carefully and concisely, and it should be clear, and it must be understood by the receiver of that letter. Point number 8, my dear students, asking information within a specific time, a right time. It must be reached to the receiver of the letter in right time and at right place. Okay. So there should not be any technical delay. I mean escapism from the receiver. It should not allow like that. Next characteristic, my dear students, so there should be a proper format, I mean there should be a proper structure of the body of the letter. So there should be, it must contain the introduction part, I mean the person who is writing, the address, name and address of the writer of the letter, and coming uh, to whom we are writing that letter, the person who receives that letter, and it must have the date also, and there must be a particular what we can say, I mean the salutation mark, dear sir, respected sir or madam, whatever it may be the case. Yes, so there must be a salutation mark, and it must have some subject line. So that subject line explains about the brief, explains briefly about the letter, what it exactly contains, what exactly they are seeking for. Yes, and thereafter it must be in a prescribed paragraph. So the body of letter should be written in detail, so thereby the receiver of the letter must understand in the same manner what exactly the inquirer is writing for, what he is seeking for. And we must close the inquiry letter with complementary clause with signature, and we have to mention the name of the inquirer and with address. Okay, so this is how therefore this must be, the letter should be in a prescribed format. So let us see, my dear students, in the next sessions, upcoming sessions, we will go in detail about the structure, I mean the pro forma, I mean format of the inquiry letter. And number 10th feature is, my dear students, there should be a formal language. Okay, we should not use any informal language, because we are writing for business purpose, right? So in order to get the business services, so we must use a formal language. Next point is, we must mention the proper reasons why we are writing for, why we are inquiring for. So we must acknowledge, we must mention, we must highlight the reasons for inquiry, for the information. So whether we are gathering for information, why we are gathering the information from the party, it has to be clear. And lastly, the letter should be closed with cordial relationship, because after reading the letter, after reading the letter, he must reply to me, he must reply to us. So this is how should a letter should be. Yes, my dear students, these are all the major features of the inquiry letter. Yes, my dear students, let us see the samples of inquiry letters. Yes, as I said in the features of the letter, so here we have several samples. Here I have mentioned 4 samples in this 3 samples in this PPT, I mean screen, in this session. So in the next session, we will go in detail about these sample letters, how we have to draft the inquiry letter, how it should be, what about the what are all the formal language, what there should not be any grammatical mistakes also. Yes, so in the next session, I will explain in detail about the structure, I mean format of this sample inquiry letter. Yes, my dear students, so this comes to an end of your session number 9. Thank you.